What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 19 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. So as we saw last time, more dukes have arrived at the hub and we are working on pumping out the armies, the units, whatever, in order to get them going, Slaneshi Giggle. We have got, between the episodes, an additional 2 dukes that have joined the fray, as I had decided to just, sort of go through the little mini confederations of the dead factions between the episodes as well, and those other factions that I had maybe missed out on, and just did them immediately. We got the additional confederations with the Knights of the Flame, which didn't actually give us any Lord, or actually it probably did, but it didn't give us any Legendary Lord, as well as the confederation with the Knights of Origo, which gives us a campaign movement range plus 10%, and the Thegan's Crusaders, which is experience plus 5% for units, which is fine. The most important thing out of that is we got 3 things. 1, Tancred II de Quenelle is going to be a Grail Virtue Lord, which likes Grail Knights, go figure. We've got Adelard de Lyonesse, which is also a Knightly Lord in some ways, but the real interesting aspect is this. He has Blessed Machines, giving the superior war machine ability to trebuchets. I've always wanted a Bretonnian artillery army, and we're certainly going to be able to have one with Mr. Adelard de Lyonesse here. Very excited for it as well. I believe we can also buff artillery further using Faceless if we really wanted to, so I really want to see how, like, 8 units of Blessed Field Trebuchets can do. Can we match the Empire? I don't know, but with Monstrous Impact, which is extremely powerful, there is certainly something to be said for it, though it will be at the cost of the Banish, but Monstrous Impact is, significantly better, so probably not the worst thing. I also notice it gives us armor-piercing explosive damage and base explosive damage. So just out of curiosity, so we have massive explosive damage and armor-piercing explosive damage on the Blessed Field Trebuchets, but comparatively very little on the regular field trebuchet, so there will not be a reason to use those in this particular artillery army, as Superior War Machine will want to benefit greater the Blessed Field Trebuchets. Alright, very excited for you. You are at level 5 though, which unfortunately means we could reset you, or I guess we could throw a few foot squires in your army to guard the trebuchets. I guess that's what we'll do. I don't want to reset you. I want you leveling up after you have channeled. So, yeah. And then finally, one of the confederations, I actually am not sure which one, got Calar here, who is a legendary Grail Knight. We will put him in an army, obviously. I'm not yet entirely sure which. And the reason I'm not sure which confederation we got him from is because he's from Bastogne, but we definitely didn't get him with the Confederation of Bastogne, unless I'm mistaken, so there's Castle Garamond right there. Or maybe we did get him with the Confederation of Bastogne, but maybe he was wounded, but I think we got him at level 1, and he just leveled? I have no idea. Well, either way, we'll figure out what army to put him in. He doesn't have any specific buffs, but he has absolutely massive buffs and against large. 47 is going to get another 8, and we can probably make that rise even more. Slaneshi Giggle. Granted, the Paladins all do have bonus versus large, so yeah. The other option is to put him with the Companions of Quenelle, because he was one of the Companions of Quenelle, but the Companions of Quenelle are not going to be with the Duke of Quenelle. Well, frankly, they've been all over the place, so it doesn't necessarily... they don't necessarily have to be with them. Anyway, that's all in the future. For now, we have a few things to do before we get our first battle going. I believe there's a couple small moves at least to be made. I did fight that little mini battle between the episodes as promised because it was a horrific waste of time. And Jolene, you are not moving this turn, but you may very well move next turn. Leonard, you are fine. Though I do wonder...
Protector of the weak.
Moment.
As is my duty.
You're only level 4. Okay, well, we'll just wait. Okay, Leon LaBelle, you are going to move towards the Oak of Prophecy. And I guess we're gonna do it in March stance. I don't really care about Lohe, and this is sort of like a one of our self-imposed campaign goals, I think, so we'll want to grab this before these guys do, and then give it to the Wood Elves. Rapunz is waiting for her troops, Angeline Beringer. You? Alright, so, Gaspard Lebeau, we are going to march stance you, and then we're going to grab troops from both Angeline here. Come on now. Alright, we'll grab both of these peasant bowmen and the men-at-arms with the long bows, like so. And we will also grab the 3 questing knights, like so. And what I want out of these units is to be put into this army, as Chevroy d'Artois is a buffer of A questing knights. And B, he has the Bowmaster's trait, which is quite interesting. I think that because he's the Duke of Artois and is going to be sort of a hunter kind of centric army, it would make sense to give him some maybe brigands with axes, because, I don't know, that kind of fits in with the whole, you know, trees and forests that Artois has got going. And the questing knights maybe can be on foot in his particular army while the longbows do the damage. Maybe we'll keep the companions of Quenelle in his army and then on horse rather than on foot. I think I like that. I think that'll work nicely. Anyway, these armies will have to continue traveling themselves, but we will transfer most of the good stuff to this army. In fact, wait. One moment.
My magic is yours.
75, 75. Okay, so you, Camille, are going to lose you and trade for you and you, because these guys don't have the armor bonuses. We can give you the knights, we can give you a couple field trebs, because that will help fight. We probably don't need a second Grail Relic in this army. I think we'll get more mileage out of having a couple of the additional Grail Battle Pilgrims, rather than a third Men-at-Arms with bow, though. Like so. And this, I think, will be a viable army, or a viable enough army. You can go into channeling stance and move into the rat territory. If you get ambushed, well, the rats will probably still have a bad time against your knights. The foot squires here don't have the bonus armor, but everybody other than the high-level peasant bowmen do, so I think we will delete you two, because I don't want to pay the extra 200 gold per turn, and then return Angeline Beringer here to the hub. Though, admittedly, leveling her up to level 10 might also be not the worst idea in the world. Alright, fine. You can follow, and frankly, if you get ambushed, you get ambushed, and I don't care that much. Your troops aren't important.
I see you.
If we can get you to level 10, great. If we can't get you to level 10, well, not so great. Alright, hey, you guys are positioned nicely. Good. Fay Enchantress still has to fight this turn, assuming I don't forget, of course. You guys. Okay, so... Margot and... Okay, so I think we'll want you guys to travel this way. And Cassian will travel next turn. You're recruiting for Cassian's army, which actually should be up and running very quickly. It's probably going to be the first of our dukes able to... Well, okay, second of our dukes, obviously, after Alberic, to get on the battlefield, because it's just effectively 2 turns of recruiting, and we don't yet have the allegiance for the additional eagles. Just filled their spaces with peasant mobs until we, you know, feed the peasant mobs to the eagles or whatever. I mean, let's send them back to their farms. They went to live on a farm. Fun fact, that excuse originally came up in Bretonnia. Anyway, what do we have here? You guys are still waiting for troops, and I'm just very amused with myself right now. And what do you have? You have favored by the lady. Okay, we will put you to use. Otherwise, I don't think we have enough money to do anything else, so we will want to... Where are we here? Now attack Morton's Home of the Fay Enchantress. Do we need to level you for this? I got 2 points. Oh, I should probably get stand your ground. Oh, yeah, let's at least get Chivalric Code. Not that we really need the additional buffs for the Grail Guardians, but it does amuse me. And I guess Peasant's Duty for the... Well, these guys will eventually be high enough rank. I want to see what heights we can take them to. They are the sort of signature unit of the faction, after all. Paladin 1. Should really get some more Paladins. And once we have money, heroes have grown so expensive because SFO just vastly inflates the cost of getting new heroes, and each hero's like 4,000 gold at this point, which is kind of insane. It's turn 52. I mean, it's not that high of a turn. Though I wonder if it is actually based on economy rather than on will we need a steamed combatant here? Probably not. I mean, we will, but I'm not sure that we do so right now. Let's get you Colossal Strike, because you're decently likely to be fighting some, Lady's Mantle for the missile resistance. Decently likely to be fighting large units, because it's kind of one of the things you're specialized towards doing. Tenacity for you, sir, and the rest of this does not matter. Anyway, as I was starting to say before I interrupted myself a billion times, as it's typical for me. I believe 20 bonus versus infantry. It's not bad either. And get Selective Abhorrence for now, and then Blinding Majesty, and I've interrupted myself again, haven't I? What was I talking about? Something important, I'm sure. But let's ignore the rest of the point attribution here. You're actually extremely point hungry because of your unique line. Let's go through Hard to Hit and Deadly Blade, and we'll see how many points we have remaining. Alright, I was wondering whether hero recruitment for or within SFO is based on economy or rather than turns elapsed. Anyway, we're fighting this now. Alrighty, here we go. It's funny, I usually attack this particular settlement from this direction because, well, obviously there's no tower on this side, and I figured I would give the enemy a chance this time around since, well, they're facing off against our main stack, and thusly pretty much no stack has a chance, and funnily enough, the enemy does not actually deploy units on the wall where these towers are, and so they're not really a threat anyway. Anyway, we're going to start the battle off by heading towards the gate with our single entities, with the exception of one. The Paladin, Julian, who has replaced the previous Paladin in this particular army, is going to have to make a name for himself, perform some deeds. I mean, you know, we presume that deeds have already been performed since he's a Paladin and a Grail Knight at this rate, but they haven't been performed in the sight of the Enchantress, so yeah. And the deed will be to solo the enemy Black Orc Big Boss here, just to start, while surrounded by orcs and completely without support. We've lost about 20% HP and have taken about 35 maybe percent off of the enemy hero. Keep in mind that paladins are more or less anti-large specialists and tanks. They don't have a bonus versus infantry to rely upon, but they're also extraordinarily tanky, and the enemy Black Orc Big Boss is still going to have a tough time here. In the meantime, the enemy tower, at least one of the enemy towers, has fallen. The second is one shot away from crumbling away, and we'll soon need to be able to focus the gate down. Huh. This tower should be destroyed. Interesting. Not that it matters since the enemy isn't making use of it anyway. Anyway. And the Paladin and the Black Orc continue their duel, been whacking away at each other for nearly 2 minutes now. And it's taken some time, surprisingly, because your melee defense at 46 is rather low, but the Paladins with 600 weapon strength don't hit all that hard. So there is that. Anyway, in the meantime, the gate has been broken through, and our Grail Knights, together with the Green Knight, the Fay Enchantress, etc., stream into the enemy city, and as they do, it looks like the Black Orc Big Boss is just about out of the picture. Since we had to wait for the gate to break down, our Friar was able to move on in as well, and has joined the fray, and has dropped a nice soul fire, on the enemy, doing a decent 9,000 damage. One more hit and the Black Orc Big Boss will fall. And there we go. He loses his head and victory goes to Mr. Julian here. Well done, sir. I'm actually quite impressed that the Black Orc Big Boss actually fought to the last, as in fought to the end here. In the meantime, we have broken down the gate and now the made a breach in the walls as well, so we will send our peasants, or at the very least those that are not the most hurt, that still have some HP remaining to fight. In the meantime, fighting back to back rather than doing too much charging, our Grail Knights here, one of them is going to peel away just a teensy bit, as we may want to clear out some of the Black Orc big ones or draw them out from the breach so that our peasants can move on in, because there's still a lot of enemies to work through. Speaking of working through enemies, the Black Orc big boss may be gone, but well, he is not forgotten. His memory lives on in the Orc War Boss, who is going to take over the duty of dueling our Paladin, though said Orc War Boss is similarly not having a particularly good time. And again, because Julian replaced our other Paladin who had been with us for 30 levels or so, I'm glad he has a chance to make a name for himself here. Anyway, our peasants are finally streaming into the settlement. They had to wait for the breaches in the towers to go down and everything. Plus, again, they are pretty severely beat up from the auto-resolve. But hopefully not so severely that they can't take on a few Orc Biggins here. We've certainly seen them defeat Orc Biggins in the past, and I don't imagine anything will have changed. Although being surrounded like this doesn't really lend itself too well to them, I do imagine at least a couple of the models will fall. I got a solid 58 melee defense on these guys, though, and that's without the auras and buffs that would be conferred from the presence of our heroes out here. Still, as the tip of the spear, these guys are still very much in the fight. Black Orc big boys, Black Orcs have arrived. I mean, they are bigger than your average boys, so, you know, it makes sense. And the fight as yet continues. Oh, wow. Fay Enchantress and Sylvain both have a lot of arrows in them. Where are those arrows coming from? Ah, there's a couple of units back here. We may want to thusly get rid of them, and one of the ways to do that is to have the Fay Enchantress actually cast the occasional spell. So, she's getting annoyed by the arrows now, and the dwellers below will be sure to clear out this poor unit of Orc Arrow Boys. They will lose one or two more volleys, but the dwellers below is a massively high damage dealing spell, and they will lose all of their HP long before the spell ends. I believe. Come on, explode. Explode. Huh. I guess they survived with 240 HP. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, no, they're dying. I guess they just didn't want to all explode at the exact same time. They're still running away. Or at least attempting to get out of there, and they do survive with 108 HP, but 18 units. Interesting. I was just curious as to what would happen there. Anyway, the enemy Black Orc Big Boss, oh wait, this is just a regular war boss, has now been defeated by our Paladin as well, and he has now gotten a second Orc boss head for himself. Very nice. Otherwise, our peasants have peeled away from the Grail Knights, who are going to take out the enemy Boar Boys and Forest Goblin Spider Riders, while the peasantry, together with a single entity, will mob whatever other units they can find. And again, I do love the banners still being held aloft while all these units fight with each other. I'm gonna double check if there's an Orc banner mod as well. I wonder what the Orc banners would look like. I mean, I know what the, iconography would look like, but I don't know what the actual banner poles and stuff would look like in the mod. And I am interested in it. Anyway, looks like the Boar Boys are out, the Spider Riders are out. There's one unit still fighting the Fay Enchantress's ghost, but it looks like they do get mobbed by the, well, peasant mobs. And the Grail Relic, who should be here. Yes it is. Well, actually, they're both here. And the Battle Pilgrims, of course. And it looks like we're just about done. Frankly, I'm surprised that the enemy army has not yet shattered, but we are probably only seconds away from it doing so. Do have to break this gate down, and I do believe there was an enemy range units here, but since Julian is no longer busy taking boss heads, he's just going to go ahead and keep them busy until the rest of the enemy army shatters and the battle is ours. Very nice. Obviously, we had to keep the extremely damaged units from the auto-resolve back, as there's no point in, losing them just so that we couldn't use them in the next fight, but we did use, like 6 or so of them, and these ones were able to rack up a little bit of XP, while the knights did most of the work. Again, unsurprisingly. Alrighty, there we go. Looks like we had 8 losses, which is pretty darn minimal. It also does make sense since we, well, due to the original damage to the peasantry from the auto-resolve last episode, we couldn't really commit them for much more than, than the 2 or 3 units, or 4 units that participated there. But that's just fine. Huh. Additional kills got attributed to the Grail relics, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, as usual, the Grail Guardians did very, very well. This time, roughly evenly, because this time they weren't using their charges and were just sort of fighting in the blob. I do have to say that regardless of the less kills overall, our Paladin Julian here, our newest addition to this particular army, is the one that got the MVP this time. First defeating the enemy Black Orc Big Boss on top of the walls, and then defeating the enemy War Boss as well, and getting 69 kills. Nice. He obviously had less damage dealt and less kills, but he had twice the damage dealt as gold value of anybody that isn't the Fay Enchantress, who obviously was throwing out a couple of spells here and there. Not in the main blob, but just against specific units like Error Boys that were being irritating. Anyway, a nice work. We'll occupy the place. Like so, a Tormentor Sword. These will be very helpful for our ranged armies. Really, any one of them. And Golgi's right here. I get to take the opportunity to kill him, but I'd like to make use of his camps a little bit more, so maybe now is not yet the time. He is not at war with the Greenskins, and he is not going to be happy about this. But oh well. What's the likelihood of him declaring war on us? Hopefully low, we'll see. Again, I don't want him to attack us right now, just because I don't want to waste all of the potential of the camps. Anyway, what do we have here? Ooh, we have range for ranged units. I'm actually tempted towards Inspired Commoners here, then. Let's go for Inspired Commoners as the first thing. I have to take a look at this every single time, but anyway, it is what it is. Alright, Fay Enchantress, everything else is fun. You should heal up nicely, and then we will proceed. I'm willing to bet... Actually, if you could reach Brasov, and I'm not sure that you can, depending on your stance, that would be great. I suppose we could declare war on these guys and go after Moslak here. How many territories do you have? Oh, just these 2? Alright, so Black Venom, we should be able to knock you out very quickly. The other option would be to ignore them completely and go through Carcassonne and then take the Black Mountains. The main issue there is it would mean leaving a tier 5 settlement at Somjek, which I doubt that you could take without any knights whatsoever. Though, with Guthric and Felix there and these guys to help, maybe you can, if they don't have an army. This would free up the Fay Enchantress to do stuff in the north, which would be preferable, obviously. Also, these guys are surrounded by orcs here. I feel like they started doing worse as soon as we showed up. Go figure. Maybe all their troops are, getting shamed by our success here. Anyway, we got a little bit of cash out of that, which we can continue with recruitment. Anything reasonably cheap here. We did need several additional Grail Knights, so I'm actually going to include a couple more of these, since we got a Duke now that has additional Grail Knights. Let's do that, especially since they take long to recruit. And at this point, I think we're done with building Knights Errant. We have like 30 of them between different armies on field that will be trained up, but I don't want to spend the next like 30 turns waiting for them to get trained up, Actually, in that light, we may want to get a Paladin to Riolas, and just because it'll help with the, at least temporary Paladin, help with the training. We should have an extra Paladin here somewhere, unless I'm mistaken.
Bretonnia.
Your
We not?
coming was
Yeah,
good.
Margot has one who has Virtue of the Impetuous Knight. You could walk over there. It's gonna take a while, though. Maybe not such a while. Yeah, you know what? Go over there. You're gonna help train them up, and then that way we don't have to worry about recruiting another one for 4,000 gold or whatever it is. Actually, are paladins 4,000 gold? Just out of curiosity here. Yeah, they are 4,000 gold. No, actually, no. Paladins are 2,000 gold, which is not as bad. The Lost Sons are 4,000. Or Sons of Bretonnia. Damsels are also 4,000. Friars are 2,000. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I do believe that's an end turn, unless I'm mistaken. Just want to double check the potential alliances real quick. I'd actually potentially do an alliance with Caravans. I would like dwarven units. Honestly, an artillery army with the trebuchets would be nice if we could get some grudge throwers in there as well, you know? Get that nice sort of medieval siege equipment in there. There is potential, but anyway. For now, though, allure not moved, unsigned skill points, buildings, damage buildings, and I believe we're ending the turn, so end it. Alright, well, the turn is ending real quick. Just a reminder, last episode, or as I noted last episode, we do have the vote for the next couple of campaigns up and running currently in the post tab, so do cast your vote, make your voices heard, etc., as it will determine what next campaign we run. And feel free to leave mod suggestions. Well, actually, it's a little bit too early to leave mod suggestions because we will be, we'll have to decide on the faction first. But anyway, we have 2 assassin heroes. Let me guess, they're probably going to assassinate these guys. I am still salty about one of our legendary merry men getting assassinated, or, well, wounded, but nonetheless annoyed about it. Alright, and there doesn't look to be anybody attacking us here. Actually, I'm wondering who could attack us. Last episode, we wiped out Morgar. In effect, we saved Central Bretonnia from the Greenskins with Bertrand's Brigands, and then, in a desperate fight, the other Brigands under Reolas, I believe is the name of the lord, have saved at least a portion of Northern Bretonnia by taking out the Beastmen for good. Now, there is, of course, still the Drowned up there, but, well, the situation's looking a lot brighter than it was previously. Ooh, and I do believe Alberic will be up and running this turn. Alrighty, what do we have here? Supervisor... Gaspard Lebeau... Wintertooth destroyed. That's interesting. And the interesting aspect isn't just that they were destroyed, but they had not been confederated by Wulfric or any of the other Norskins. Who destroyed them? Huh. Did they get finally destroyed by the Urson Revivalists? Pretty neat, if that is indeed the case. Also, good job to Kislev for holding, incidentally. Empire is not quite in shambles, but also not having the best of times. This is Chilfroy at home. This is another crownless lord that I don't remember. Alberic is back, which is the important thing. Technology researched, and I do believe... Ooh, free valet. Volker has a mace. Good for him. Thank you, game. Just take a look at him for a second. Okay, first of all, you need to channel, so go here because the winds are tempestuous. And just all the dukes, I want you all standing together, like so, until you've completed your channeling. So you have completed your channeling, Hagen. You're gonna spread the word, and you're gonna go here. Good. Actually, wait. This territory makes more money, technically speaking, so you're better spreading the word here, aren't you? 100 extra gold. Well, that's something to sneeze at, I suppose. You are channeling, you are not channeling anymore, so you can spread the word. Everybody channeling, be in the blob until I'm ready for you. And you are done channeling, I'm on deck at 10. And you are channeling, okay, good. Good-ish. Good enough at the very least. Anyway, you got mace. Oh, right, you get the choice of different weapons. Mace will give you sundered armor. Great sword will give you more armor-piercing damage, I take it. Mace gives you the shield, though. I kind of like it. It's going to be a more unusual setup than some of the other lords. Maybe I should have put Maceman with you instead of a Reponse, then. But I kind of like the Maceman with Reponse. I don't know, I'll think about it.
Eternal devotion.
I will consider it. Consideration Well, it won't be given, but anyway. Here we will want to grab Professional Fletchers real quick to get that range bonus and missile strength. May as well. Fay Enchantress. I was about to say let's start with you, but let's actually start with getting Alberic back up and running. Actually, no, wait. Let's start by stealing some tech, because... let's start by failing to steal some tech, apparently. Are either of you rank 10? Rank 8 and rank 8. Now, we could replace one of you with Alberic, and then get you back up and running later on. You have Generous Spirit. You're both fine. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is this. We will move you here. We'll replace you first because you're slightly lower level than Camille here. No, tech lead, no. I should have stolen the tech first. And now we can't retreat. Ugh, okay, whatever. You have 2 turns. You're fine. You're fine. Nobody panic. Go to Bilbali instead. May as well keep an eye on what's going on there. Frankly, I should have sent this tech thief to Borgas because who knows what's over there. Alright, and I'm... I still don't know where that army went. We had a full stack running around of the Dark Elves here, and it looked like they were pushing towards us at Durango, and I haven't spotted them, and it's making me very nervous. Because I feel like, what if they're in ambush right here waiting for one of these weak new armies, eh? It's a distinct possibility, people. Also, before I forget, we should spend some of our Valor. Let's get you a Valor upgrade, i.e. contact effects, like so. Alright, there we go. At least we're not maxed now. And then if we get extra, we'll get extra. You, go into channeling or stay in channeling, and then go here. Clovis, you are still traveling this way to join those guys. Good, good, good. Alrighty, ooh, looking pretty good. Okay, and in terms of the Dukes, as for who looks the best that isn't Hagen de Gisoro, and just wait until you see him on the on his hippogriff, it's absolutely magnificent. But the other one, I gotta go with Tancred. No, got to go with Adelar de Lyonesse. I mean, look at this guy. That's pretty magnificent. The Alliance head, I like the sort of surcoat and over the mail, and just looks pretty grand. And can't wait to get you on field too, buddy. Anyway, Fay Enchantress, we'll deal with you in a second. I would like to replace you or reset you, I guess, because we'll need you back ASAP because you're rank 8 and we need to get you to rank 10. Reset, and we'll pop Mr. Alberic. Are you gonna be at the bottom of the list? You cannot replace Lord with another Lord if either of them has horde buildings. Huh. Well, that's fascinating. Gotta say, I wasn't expecting that. That was a waste of time. Alright, I guess we'll need another Lord that will want to level to 10. Lots of level 1 Lords from the Confederations, I take it. Well, I guess we'll just get one of these. Pick another one among the trees, and yeah, I guess we need to get... Okay, I guess we'll take Barboza then, of you two. Should actually close with Bilbali as well. Alright, you know what, I'll do this. You go to Barboza. We'll use Alias Delane to... take it. I wonder how much damage we'll take here. It's not worth fighting. Auto-resolve, too much damage. Alright, fine. Then we won't move on yet. We will occupy the place. And then we will leave the place because I don't care if you live or die. We will encamp with you right here. And then we'll just get Alberic up and running like this.
Alberic de Bordelot.
Yeah, that's you, buddy. That's you. Alrighty, and I would like you to go into Barboza. Then I would like you to get your unique line. Lead from the front, definitely coastal expansion for the port stuff, as we've been waiting to build several ports. The tradable resources should give us a little bit of extra cash. The construction cost for resource buildings is nice, but, you know, there's not a lot of them. Peasants' Duty Commandment is great, but we're not using Peasants' Duty anywhere at this time, so while we may eventually want to switch to it, it is of no use to us currently. The Blessing of the Lady, sure. Definitely Inspiring Presence and Route Marcher. Now, you're the Knight of the Realm guy, so we'll go for Glorfiniel's Progeny and Worshippers of the Grail because you want Battle Pilgrims. And I may put some Men-at-Arms in your army, but I'll think about it. It's between 5 melee defense versus... versus Archer Knights of the Realm. 5 melee defense versus the 8 something? Huh. Sparring Knights, 8 for 8 melee attack, and 12 weapon strength, which is something. It's not nothing. Go figure. Peasant's Duty into Chivalric, no, into Protectors of the Realm, and we will want to grab Stand Your Ground. We have Root Marcher. The rest of the stuff we will hold off on. Wait, Lance of Bretonnia is for you personally, so I don't really care about that. Cooldown for Rally and Stand Your Ground, yeah, that's pretty nice. And yeah, Vigor Loss and SFO is magnificent, so yeah. Then we'll get your Blade Master, and we'll hold off on anything else. I'm probably not going to give you any Grail Knights. Errantry against the Undead, Tomb Kings, Vampire Counts, Vampire Coast. Gotta go the Vampire Coast. Alright. And Albert, oh, you are a Horde faction. And, oh, it costs Chivalry to build your stuff. I assumed that this would be broken, but it does actually look like it is in the sense that we can't build any additional stuff, but the attrition reduction will be nice. So that's fine. Alrighty, now, Alberic, you are going to get all 4 of these Knights of the Realm and all 4 of these Foot Squires. Actually, you know what? Take the entire army. We need to swap with the other lord, so you guys are just gonna follow. And then we'll want to swap with Franciscus de Mia after that. Speaking of Franciscus, I do believe you're hitting Pit from here. Yes, indeed you are, buddy. And this is their capital. So, ooh, they've got some good troops there. Alright, so this will actually take some effort in terms of fighting it. Alright, besiege it for a second. We will straight up attack it, so as we should be able to knock out the enemy defenses with our artillery. Chilfoy, you can reach here. It's a risk.
Do you know who I am?
But I think I'm willing to risk it. So wait, can you reach this? Yes, you can. Okay, so I would like you to deliver to here. You are, oh, you've reached rank 10. Fantastic, buddy, fantastic. We can disband you. Alright, you will grab your Dukedom's Bond to get the additional errantry. Like so. And go for the, I'm going to say again, Vampire Coast. Vampire Counts are too far away. Alright, good. Then you're going to deliver here all of these troops. We have to get the Companions of Quenelle to Chilfoy anyway. Like so.
Savior of the realm.
Savior of the realm? Okay. That's a little presumptuous. You haven't saved any realms yet, buddy. In fact, having been confederated because Artois and the Forest of Arden were having a pretty bad time against the Beastmen, so yeah. It's particularly funny because I interpreted this as kind of a joke, but Chilfoy is kind of known for, you know, being a dour, unsmiling guy, unless I'm mistaken. He has never been heard to laugh and repeatedly only smiles when surveying the devastation he has wrought on his... I vaguely had some recollection of something. Anyway, Gaspard, I think we want to reset you now, since you're rank 10. I do like you as a potential army leader. You know what, let's disband you. I don't want to get a second errantry from accidentally... Oh, I like your color scheme. Like that a lot. Anyway, disband you for now. You're still gonna have to play second fiddle to the dukes, at least for now, and that is Bretonianly appropriate. You are not rank 15, so we will not level you. Everybody else, attacks. Ooh. Marauders of Sonish, do we have Warp Bomb here? No, but we do have 6 menaces below, 3 uses of Eshin Clanstone, which is damage. We gotta be careful of that. And just basically lots of good stuff in here. Yeah, I like it. Go.
Soon we will feast as scribes begin the tale of our glorious victory.
Alrighty, here we go. The capital of Clan Eshin with a fair few... Ooh, the tower going down instantly. Under 5 from the Blessed Field Trebuchets. Anyway, with a lot of elite units in the enemy army. Storm Vermin, Death Runners, lots of Poison Winds and Hellpit Abomination, Doomwheel, and good stuff basically is what I'm getting at. And I think we'll have a grand time fighting them. Now, we do have to wait for the towers to fall and for the gates and the walls to be breached, but fortunately the Hippogriffs wait for no one. And we are going to start the battle off by sending them to fight alone, well, with their lord. up on top of the walls. And since we haven't had a lot of chances for them to shine as of yet, I mean, we've been able to enjoy them in a few battles, but this is certainly them shining more when not surrounded by the knights riding around. Let's see how well they do at clearing these walls. Our Hippogriff Riders also cause bleed, which is going to be real helpful here. Our Lord will duel the enemy Warlord or Chieftain, or however this is. It's a Warlord. I swear there's a Chieftain here somewhere, too. Yeah, they'll both get destroyed, I'm sure. Alright, now the artillery are targeting us a little bit, and ooh, it looks like the splash damage is allowing the Hippogriffs to knock many a rat off the walls as well, which I'm sure is speeding them along to their deaths. Now, obviously, what we could have done is ignored the walls completely and just gone directly for the enemy artillery, but I felt like in this particular case, it wouldn't be quite as fun. Alright. And, ooh, we have taken some damage on the Hippogriff Knights now, who have lost about 30% of their HP, and we're going to have to heal them up with a nice regrowth. But in the meantime, the walls have been breached, and the gate is very much on the way to being breached, and the first of our knightly units have made their way into the enemy settlement. The Companions of Quinnell will lead, charging directly through, camera, sorry about that, will lead, charging directly through whichever unit they just came into contact with, and into the next one. Oh, lovely. And we do have the Knights Errant coming in as well, so instead of having the Knights, or the Hippogriff Knights, deal with the enemy artillery, I want the Foot Knights, or well, they're not really Foot Knights, cavalry, like the ground, the guys that can't fly, to be the ones to go after the enemy artillery. And the reason for that is I just think it'll be more fun, because they'll have to work their way through a lot of enemy elite units in a desperate attack on the critical enemy artillery units. All the while being attacked by 2 Doom Wheels and a Hellpit Abomination, all of which are going to be tremendously dangerous to the Knights. Still, the Knights are breaking their way through. Many of them, I'm sure, being distracted by the blobs of enemies. But it looks like we have managed to first silence the enemy unit of Warp Lightning Cannons, and soon we'll be able to move towards the Plague Claw Catapults. That said, our units are stretched out and taking damage, especially this one, currently under attack by the Hellpit Abomination. None of those Knights would be able to deal with the Hellpit, and so we're going to send the Hippogriff Knights to do so as well. Now, technically speaking, the Hippogriff Knights aren't really made for this. They're more of an infantrymancer type unit. They're not technically anti-large or anti-infantry, but they are splash damage attacking and they have no direct bonuses. So you're better off using Royal Hippogriff Knights to surround and kill off a Hellpit Abomination like this. But we don't have access to those in this particular army, and so the Hippogriff Knights are gonna have to do. Or at least they're going to have to do the best they can. They are down by 40% of their HP once again. And the Hellpit Abomination is probably going to deliver plenty of damage dealt, and damage dealt as gold value. I'm going to have to heal them up, and ooh, it looks like they have reached their healing cap as well, and one of them falls, I think. Nope, still just heavily damaged. And the fight continues. How's that Hellpit Abomination looking? At half HP now. Oh, I like the stagger animations from the Hippogriff Knights, though, I gotta say. And the first of the Hippogriff Knights falls, and the second one falls as well as the Doom Knight, or Doom Wheel rather, arrives to help out. In the meantime, though, with the enemy artillery silenced, the other Knights are running pretty much unstoppable throughout the entire enemy settlement, where peasants have also broken through and are currently in the process of routing a unit of Slaneshi Spears, as well as a unit of Plague Monks, while a Doom Wheel tries to move through them, but is actually stopped by the Grail Relic, which apparently has just enough mass to at least get in the Doom Wheel's way, which is good to know, incidentally. Alrighty, well, since the Plague Monks are pretty much done and the other unit has routed, we're going to have to just do our best to surround and destroy that Doom Wheel. The Hellpit Abomination at 30% of its HP now, but we've reached our healing cap at about 50% for the Royal Hippogriff Knights, and they are at 4 out of 6, and the fight yet continues. We don't really have an anti-large specialist unit in this particular army to be able to take down big boys like that, with the exception of our lords, so we're just going to have to leave him to it. In the meantime, there is a unit of storm vermin with halberds. They're still doing a pretty good job of holding us off, so we're going to help send them on their way by disrupting their formation with an awakening of the wood. And it looks like that does it, as the storm vermin are pretty much done for. The hill pit is down to 10% of its HP, and it looks like Franciscus is doing pretty darn well with 21k damage dealt. And a couple more hits will bring the big boy down at last. Heck of a long time to take this thing down, though. Much faster with arrow fire, or, you know, Pegasus Knights. But it is certainly a worthy deed to bring down such a monstrosity. There we go. When the Hellpit Abominations fall, the Skaven Slaves and the Clan Rats, or the disgorged Skaven Slaves, I should say, and the Clan Rats are pretty much on their way out. The bounce power shifts to about 90% in our favor, and a couple more charges with our various Knights Errant should see the last of the enemy units break as well. And there we go. In fact, with that, the enemy army shatters, and the battle is ours. Certainly had to work for it, and certainly our several of our units of Knights took severe damage. Haven't seen any of our Royal Hippogriff Knights take anywhere near this much hurt before, but they damn well earned their stripes here. Lots and lots of damage dealt. Plus, we got lots of damage on the Sons of the Hamster Knights Errant here, but at the same time, they probably racked up a solid amount of XP, and in fact, at rank 5 will now be upgradable to Knights of the Realm, as they've clearly earned it. A lovely fight. Alrighty, a very, very nice fight and a good showing of knightly valor, as our fragile Knights Errant nonetheless charged through the elite enemy ranks and deep into the enemy settlement. We also had our Royal Hippogriff Knights lose 2 of their Grail Knight number to the horrific Hellpit Abomination, which is tanky enough and delivers high enough alpha to, well, kill 2 of them, and the unit was actually out of healing cap and down to about 20 or 25% or so of its HP. They were severely beat up. Granted, they also did massive amounts of damage, and this is why it's nice to sort of have a unit in the army. It's not going to win the battle for you in this particular case, but it will do lots of work. I really enjoyed that battle. Solid work out of the Companions of Quenelle as well. And don't worry, while most of these units are going to be transferred to another army, Franciscus is absolutely going to get a army of his own. Again, I'm thinking, you know, centered around the Foot Squires a little bit more than anybody else, because he has the plus 10 armor for peasantry. Anyway, a very nice fight. Occupy. Another Court Jester. Honestly, every turn we spend not fighting the... I'm really gonna lose mana? I'm much better off healing anyway. What was I saying? Every turn spent with the Slaneshi not declaring war on us is a turn that we can continue building up our... we keep the Apothecary for now. Building up our stock of anti-corruption, or anti-corruption. Well, yes, anti-corruption, but anti-Slaneshi stuff. Although, I say that, but, well, before we move to attack the Slaneshi ourselves, we should have at least one army down here to repel any attacks. Yeah, it feels like the thing to do. Oh, I don't like how these guys are bordering us now. They could easily take Viadatsa. Well, if they do, they do, even though this is our biggest money-making province with 8.5, money. We need to send an army down here soon. Though luckily, our hub is down here as well, so... yeah. That's a term of art, by the way. I mean... yeah. Anyway, Tech Thief, you go this way, please. Move the Tech Thieves for now. Adrienne Le Cornet, I do believe you were supposed to join Jolene's army, as you are another booze-craving kind of guy. And then Pierre Lamoureux, you are who? Oh yes, we are going to use you to train up Leo Armistead's army. because these guys need to evolve, otherwise they're very fragile. And, well, if we're not going to attack the Slaneshi for now, we can, of course, sit out here and channel with both of these armies until they've channeled enough. And get ready, everybody, to move in. Oh, did you two really have to get in each other's way? Come on now. Alright, then, since the Duke of Caravans will have his army up and running in like a turn,
Fortune favors you.
we need to do two things. First of all, build a couple more peasant mobs. Let's say 5 is sufficient for now. You will want a Friar, most likely, and I'm going to say, in lieu of a Paladin, I would like a Damsel of the Heavens. And I think Sanctified. Oh, these are both decent options. Guardian to get the physical resistance on any heroes, or Rejuvenator, which would give us a little vigor loss reduction. Oh wait, Pegasus Knights have perfect vigor, don't they? They do. Pegasus Knights have perfect vigor. Funnily enough, Royal Hippogriff Knights do not. So they will get tired, but maybe we can have an anti-vigor thing. In that light, well, I guess the Eagles don't have perfect vigor.
Paragon of virtue.
I'm thinking we'll get more value out of Guardian here, then. Well, then again, Tireless Eagles is pretty scary, because, well, Eagles are pretty darn scary in SFO, especially. You know what? Let's go for Rejuvenate. Well, it's only 10%. Not that much. Squid, go Sanctified. Alright, good enough. And you can have the Barbed Warhorse and stay on the Barbed Warhorse. We'll get the Aura of the Lady, immediately go into replenish troops as the critical thing. We don't really need a soft spot for the small folk in this particular army, because we're not expecting the peasant mobs to do damage so much as hold the line and distract the enemy, while the Pegasus Knights, Flyers, etc. do all the work. Also, if I feel like this is too many Flyers, I might go ahead and remove 2 of the Royal Pegasus Knights, just keep the regular Knights led by a Hippogriff Knight, or remove the Royal Hippogriff. I haven't decided yet. It depends on how the army performs and if I feel it's too strong. Again, to counteract this, that's why we're building the garbagest of garbage, which is the peasant mobs. And I hope it'll be sufficient. Anyway, you know what, we'll level you afterwards. More importantly, will you guys now trade Montlec?
You dare approach a
Montfort, Montlec for Bergenhofen, unless I'm mistaken. Come on. Still 18. Oh, for the love of... Okay. Build another military structure. I hope that the AI recognizes the Cutpurse Camp as a military structure. Yeah, that's the only one we can do. Alright. Why must this... Yeah, dwarfs. Anyway. Fay Enchantress. Assuming that... Okay, what are these guys doing? Oh, nothing really. You cannot reach Brasov in this stance. Can you reach it in this stance? No. Can you... No, I didn't mean to... Damn it. Okay. Well, I screwed that up. Are you able to reach Brasov? Neither one of you are able to reach it anyway. So, I think what we'll do is we'll get as close to it as possible with both of you. Cross the river here. We'll ignore Moslak then, and then go for Somjak afterwards with both of you. Feels like it makes sense. Are you really unable to reach Brasov? Yeah. Well, that is what it is. You're gonna have to cross over next turn as well. Do you need to channel? Do you need to channel? You're fine. Alright. Then the Fay Enchantress can proceed to Carcassonne instead. It will mean trespassing in Fort Saul, but I don't think we care that much. Go here. I assume we'll be able to auto-resolve this. At the very least, I hope that we will. Close victory. It'll be some damage, but again, I feel like it's not worth fighting, so let's just auto-resolve it. And it's fine. Like, fine. Like so. Free Dawn stun. Okay, we should really have some random lord following the Fay Enchantress around just so that we get the additional XP. And generally speaking, that's the prophetesses. Though funnily enough, we can recruit prophetesses at rank 10 now, so... To some degree, The reason it's not necessarily is that we would also get the benefit of having the following lords. Another strategist, another 2 strategists. That's not bad. We would have the benefit of the following lords being able to acquire additional items for us, which is also a nice thing to have. Also, while we have these guys at rank 10, we should probably get a few more of them on the field to increase our income as soon as we have some spare money, which is kind of hard to find. Let's go with... I don't like Earthbond, so I'm going to go with Barkskin. Although it feels like Barkskin should be a Lore of Life one, which kind of makes me question it, but anyway. Since you're available, we'll use you until you're at level 10. And I might actually just send you off to be a lord that, you know, sits in a territory at rank 10. Root Marcher. And we'll wait for the other points. Alright, good enough for now. Alright, that's a Fay Enchantress. Bertrand, you are heading up to fight the orcs. Skull Smashers, specifically orcs. And I think that is good for you. So you're gonna go this way, and then Gustav the Savior is still gonna follow. What's the likelihood that these guys take this territory? Or lose territory? Oh! Huh. Are these guys at war now? No, they're not at war. Oh, right. They were at war with Kuhan, who may attempt to... Oh. Might even successfully attempt to take this. Interesting. Dabert de Languilla, you are going... one of the only duke that I think... Or one... I think it's two dukes that we're missing. Unless I'm misrecollecting. Although it could very well be. You go into Crusade stance and... still can't reach Carrick Norn, unfortunately. Well, that's a shame. It's a crying shame. I don't necessarily want Arguelon to capture these territories because there's nothing that we'd want to trade with Arguelon. And Vidrioth we do have the outpost with, so that doesn't matter. What are we doing here? Okay, so these guys are still... Can we leave? Are these armies able to leave here? Can we trust Durthu will actually take Putrid Stump? Or can we not trust it? Because if we leave, we could very well come down here, which would be beneficial, or we could... You know what, go up here anyway. Let's go to Carrick Norn and we'll see. Go to Grimhold. Thieving Damsel, you can... that's a question. Well, I guess you're going this way. You're probably going to steal from the ogres.
We have met before.
Leonie, you're going to follow.
My steps are guided.
And Olivier of the Braid. I was going to... Wait, is that little rogue army dead? The one that was besieging Ubersreich? It is, so that we're free to send Esme around this way. And... the heck? How'd you get Grunberg in the middle of the... Huh? How'd this happen? I wonder if this was a Zinchen thing. Oh, this is going to be annoying if you take it. And you probably will by the looks of it. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I want you to go to Galog Thickskull's camp. Also, I noticed that Altestad, Nullen itself, does not have a frickin' outpost, so... we should really take that slot before anybody else does, if I could just find Altestad in here. Huh? Am I crazy or did I miss it? I do. There we go. And, oh, it can't build war wagons, which is the thing that we want. But nonetheless, hate to waste a 2k, but it is what it is. And then, what about the Empire? You know what, let's build an outpost in, let's say East End. Reasonably safe.
Yeah.
Not the most safe, but it's safe-ish. I don't think there's any other capitals that would look... In fact, most of the capitals seem to be taken. Wildorf isn't, but we can't build war wagons anyway. And is this actually safer? Well, it's actually reasonably safe. If we build an East End, though, can we immediately get access to war wagons without going to the second tier? I see City North. I see South Bank. Okay, frickin'. Or should we at least ordered by proximity or something? There we go. Or at least you had various different ways to order it. Yeah, see, this place has access to most of the stuff, so I'm going to say East End. Alright, time to get that construction up and running. Good. Alright, game. We're like, wow, that's a lot of errant trees, but that's Bretonnia for you. Alrighty, who was I starting to move? So you guys are moving to Carrick Norn and such. You then will follow them. Or continue doing so for now. Thieving Damsel, you're in good position. Meline Dutremere, you are just going to sit there. Inez and Verna are going to sit there as well. Luan Diderot, you are sitting there waiting to go to Brasov, since we cannot otherwise do so. Fleur of the Braid, you're our main moneymaker. Maeva La Gardienne, I was going to send you to follow somebody until you reach rank 10, so I think you're going this way. Or, you know what, I suppose, go into Spread the Word stance and then go down here. Whoever you follow, maybe somebody that goes either down here or down here. We just need the extra items. Frankly, I should probably be doing the same with the Dukes, but it would probably just be too many being moved around all at once, and I kind of find that map.
I have
Oh!
seen your heart.
I'm just realizing something. We could use my Eva to actually deliver some of the troops. Well, actually, maybe not. Okay, wait. Response.
The Leoness!
Yeah, Deleonus indeed. You are going to get... Wait, is Beaumont here? Beaumont? Is he available? Oh, next turn. Okay, fair enough. Gustav, I would like you to deliver one of the questing knights to Response, maybe. They're both high level. As we build another questing knight, we have Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights being constructed. Alright, you know what? Let's swap this out. I was actually kind of thinking I wanted to give Response some Knights of the Black Rose from the Empire, but I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyway, you go here. Deliver everything but the Brigand de Cachet to... Oh, you won't have enough room in this army. Alright, fair enough. You know what? Then you can wait the turn. So no. You know what? Deliver the Grail Knights because they're stupidly expensive and it'd be cheaper to put them in this army. Alright. Good. Anybody need the Brigand de Cachet? I believe we were going to put them in full Cavs army. Loved by the people, infantry reduction bonuses for infantry, so they would do nicely there, and his channeling is already pretty okay, so let's grab those. Actually, you know what, I'll deal with the rest of this between the episodes, as in this aspect of the admin, because there's a lot of it, since we have like a million armies that we're trying to get up and running at the same time. Let's see if there's anything more critical right now. So you guys are waiting for at least one more turn, maybe a couple, depending. Leon the Bell, we're going to use you to occupy the Oak of Prophecy, thereby to later trade it to our Wood Elf allies. Colonize. Oh, lovely. Forest of Arden, secured. And go for Elf Chivalry. We'll still build it up because I don't want them to immediately lose it. Martel. Oh, no, you're still recruiting. Oh, actually, we're going to get a Brigand. Although at the same time, I did want another Faceless in here, which would replace the Son of Bretonnia, which is in here temporarily. Although I don't dislike the idea of having the Son of Bretonnia as the caster in this army. Necessarily. It's just that the Faceless, or just the Damsel might be better, especially since we could use the Curse of Anra here to slow the enemy down, as this is a range cav sort of army. I will think about it. For now, though, let's use Global Recruitment to grab 1,400. It's a little steep, game. It's a little real steep. You know what? Maybe hold off on this. I think we have better stuff to spend it on. You're just going to have to deal with not having the extra unit. At least for now. We'll eventually have some spare cash, hopefully. For all that we have an insanely strong economy, we also have a lot of stuff that we have to do, so yeah. Our pawns, just relax for a turn. The rest of the dukes are fine. You guys were supposed to travel through this territory, but I was assuming that we could have traded stuff this territory, which we couldn't do, or this turn, which we couldn't do, so you're fine. Tancred, Adelard, you're fine. Bianca and... Okay, I know who Bianca is. I don't know who Esme is. Oh, you're the two ranged damsels, so you're going to join the Artois army, and then you two are going to join two different armies, so just keep going this way. Good. And they were just there, and I figured we might as well put them to use, you know. I mean, like, that makes sense. Who are you? Ah, yes, you are going to probably... Wait.
What is your behest?
Brigands. I was going to deliver these to Chilfoy. He's going to have his questing knights. He already has his longbows and... Huh. You could use the friar. I guess we could have somebody. Anybody free here? Like Gustav the Savior? You know, here's what we'll do. We'll use Gustav the Savior to deliver these guys, together with the Brigands, to the other army. I think that makes sense. Alright, let's move the Thieving Damsels, and we got a little bit of building to do. And oh, right, you guys have arrived, getting ready to pop into armies. One of you is for Response, unless I'm mistaken, no? You have a friar. You need a disciplined friar. You're cunning, and you're disciplined. Alright, you're going into Response's army. Alright.
Yes.
And then we're at 17 out of 20, assuming we don't want to swap the maces to the other fella. Which I will consider. Alright, Dorian is good. Bohemond, who is he? Oh, you guys are supposed to swap into this army. You're fine. Kella, I haven't decided which army you're going to go in, whichever one needs a paladin. And I believe... Huh, I believe that's everybody. Alright, good. Diplomacy check real quick. What do we have here? Exiles of Nehek, you're fine. Trade agreement with Clan Durazgrund, not critical right now. Defensive alliance with Cetra's Revenge. I don't think they'll survive all the way up there, so probably no need. Aeronoc's still holding out on that military alliance. I feel like by virtue of the fact that they're holding out, they're probably going to get confederated soon. Yeah, not much we can do about it though. Alright, building. Very quickly, hopefully at the very least, the free stuff. Which is now ports and any infrastructure. We have the Shrine of the Lady and Shrine of the Lady. And yeah, Bordelot really wants a rank 10 damsel to increase the money it's generating. A prophetess, rather. I don't really want to spend the 4.5k, though. Protected. It doesn't really need to go. We do have a shepherd here. 4.5k is so much, but whatever. You know what, just do it. Just do it. And then we can immediately go into Peasant's Purpose and muster the farm hands. Arcane Wisdom, Inspiring Presence, Route Marcher, and we'll be one short of the other points in 10th share. We'll also want to take out the Bard Warhorse, like so. And we will go for, what do we have here? Lizardmen, Ogres, Skaven, and Greenskins. We're still fighting Greenskins, so I'm going to have to go with Greenskins here. Oh, lovely. Alright, and then you immediately go in to spread the word, which will bump the place up to 4.4k. Pretty worth it by the looks of it. Though not as much as I was expecting, perhaps. Huh, what are we at here? 1200? It's really only... River Brienne, you already have one. Why are you with 3 provinces and only 1 port generating more? I guess this place will be at 600. How much will you be at? 400. We'll see. You may also be surrounded by more Chapel of the Ladies, which is increasing, well, the income for you, generally speaking, by a wider margin. I might replace the Chapels of the Lady here with other stuff, as in the industry stuff, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm getting distracted as usual. Timber Mill, obviously. I'd love to upgrade you to tier 4, but I don't think we're ready for it yet. This is too costly, so we're just going to have to, well, let it exist in its current state, and only build the stuff that is effectively free, while we can. At least while we're recruiting. Eventually it'll switch. Kessel Garamont, you're gonna get the Shrine of the Lady. Should probably upgrade the Humble Chapel, though. Humble though it may be. Port, if not quite free, is very close to it. And you, Kessel Rachar, is going to get the Shrine of the Lady as well. Ireme, and we just upgrade you. Let's just upgrade you. And now we have no further cash to upgrade anything else, but that's life. Held the Grad. Where are you again? Oh, you're down here. I have not decided what exactly I want to do with you. I guess we could build the Chapel of the Lady, but here it actually is not going to be super useful unless we get into a war with the dwarfs, in which case we'd get more benefit out of having it. Azwara, you're... well, you still have defenses, but we may get rid of them later. Let's build up the... well... you know what? Build the Chapel of the Lady first. I think it'll be more useful here. And funnily enough, now that we have this entire territory, we should probably redo Carrick Kafir Kamaz. Although we do still need the... not the allegiance, the extra stuff, so we'll have to wait. Well, the capacity is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why that was so difficult. Come on, Ruinous. Anyway, let's get the tap room here, I guess. It's... well, actually, it's probably going to need growth. More critical at the current time. And Carrick Hearn, don't collect... well, no, I can still collect the income. Our public order is basically... well, not quite flawless, very, very good right now. And... well, you're not going to most likely need a Chapel of the Lady, so we'll go for a tap room when we have it available. Las Kypros, I don't know if we're keeping, so we're just going to keep it as it currently is. And Bergenhofen, one more turn, okay. Hopefully we can get that Confederation up and running. So, let's ignore all this. And we're not besieging anything unless I'm mistaken. And if I am, it's going to be too late in a second. Doesn't look like it. Alright, let's end the turn. And see if we can't trade with those dwarfs. Alright, I'll probably do a big round of naming next episode, as well as, well, we're starting to get troops in decent numbers up and running in some of the newer armies, and the newer armies are where we will want to put those names in. Silastra, you want peace? we're not even really fighting you. Lewin's moving to reclaim territory. Finally, now that we've solved all of his problems. Just like the Central Bretonnian factions, but unlike them, we're not going to confederate Lewin. Or Longyi, because Lewin beat us to the punch there. And it makes sense with the proximity of Longyi to the, to Kuhan. It makes sense for him to have confederated them. I would have left him Lyonesse, except for the fact that, well, he allowed Lyonesse to be destroyed before they got confederated. And thusly, the Duke has joined us. And besides, we have Rapunzel. So technically we have a Duke and Duchess from different timelines with us. Or different times, not timelines, you know what I mean. Well, actually, technically speaking, this game has the Cult of Pleasure, which is a Storm of Chaos thing, or at least more so a Storm of Chaos thing, with Morathi at the head and sort of openly Slaneshifying stuff, and thusly it is technically a different timeline. But anyway, scaling attacks or survivalists, sure, we'll enter war inside of these guys. Alright, moment of truth, assuming a caravan attack. Hey, Sartorial's Watcher's destroyed. Thank you. I was gonna send an errantry up there to make sure that Zinch was gone as fast as possible. Hey, Bowmen Beastlayer is back. I don't know who Mariam Dutremere is, because there's a lot of similarly named heroes. Professional Fletchers are up and running. Caravan completed, a little bit of extra cash, and 2 more Wildwood Rangers. Fantastic. They have 8 of them now. I'm almost now, I'm almost now regretting putting more Wildwood Rangers. Hey, free student. More free students. I'm almost regretting putting Wildwood Rangers into one of our actual armies because I wasn't expecting to have so many of them available. Who is the other? Oh, right. Yeah. I know who you are. So many of them are in a caravan. That, yeah, so you will probably have to lose those men-at-arms, and you've also reached rank 12, which is just great. Still looking to complete your stuff, but the rank 12 gives you Wayfarer, and much more importantly, Strider. Lovely. Alright, then, one of these caravans needs to keep traveling. So, Esteban, you've been kind of to Dwarfen territories and Kislevite territories. I don't remember if we've been to Karak-Kadrin, and I feel like that's where we want to go. I don't remember which of these dwarfen territories we've gone to. You're not technically a dwarf caravan, which, wait, aren't you the... No, you're ogre caravan. This guy's our dwarf caravan, right? Yeah, Guillaume, and is heading to Zufbar. Maybe we send Esteban to Kislev, then. Get another Kislevite unit. The single Iron Drake would be, I don't know, sufficient. Although we're at war with a lot of factions near Kislev. Oh, and we'd have to go to Erengrad. We're not at war with the Doom Legion at this time. I would imagine that you'd be reasonably safe. And if you're not, well, good luck, sir. That's where we're set, because that's where we're sending you. You got 2 spaces, so you should be good. Go to Erengrad. Get us 5k. Yes? Yes. Alright. And hopefully get some fights while you're at it. Alright, so we got the professional Fletchers, since we now will have a siege lord with a siege specialist with lots of field trebuchets. We're definitely going to want siege engineering, though could keep upgrading the the pilgrims. What else do we have here that's pretty critical? Ooh, character experience gain plus 10. That's nice. That's very nice. I'm tempted to say character experience gain is the most important thing, because we have a bunch of new dukes and they will need to get as much experience as possible, as fast as possible. So nothing else is quite as critical. The casualty or punishment rate for bonus for non-knightly units is also quite nice. I'm also a little bit tempted by the Kings of the Mountain diplomacy. This stuff will also be gotten as soon as possible, but for now, I'm going to say we move to Fair Bretonnia. Income from industry, anything that will give us any additional income that isn't industry right now, because we don't have a lot of it available. It doesn't look like it. Ooh, I do like farriers, though. 10% speed for Cav. Recruitment rank for paladins is also pretty nice. But yeah, I'm going to say haste stores into Fair Bretonnia, and then the other stuff will be god. Now, you know what? Well, yeah, alright. Go Fair Bretonnia first, then we'll go for siege engineering. Alright, good enough. Now, is there any fight available to us? Bilbali, what do we have here? Now you're poorly defended. Let Tech Thief go to Sahagun. I want to find where those Dark Elves are hiding.
What is your behest?
Your activities. Oh, it's just a ruin? It's not full of rats? Oh, that's concerning. How many territories do you have left? 3? But if this is nothing... 1, 2, nothing. Where's 3? Uh-oh. I have concerns. Oh, no. If Master Snitch is going to have 1 territory remaining, Pina Wood is occupied by Schmidt's Renegades, and like I said, kind of a side goal to this campaign, or main goal to this campaign, one of them anyway.
Alberic,
I have no idea. Alberic, you are just out of range of Bilbali, sir. And as everybody else. Ah, Camille can reach it. But unfortunately, we won't be able to siege it. Well, actually, we would. All right, so you know what, Camille, go here. Alberic, you'll reinforce, and hopefully you can still transfer to Camille the field trebs. You're traveling far. And then, since this is a ruin, I guess what we'll do is we'll take Bilbali. And we'll simply meet down here at Borgas with Franciscus, who is to transfer the rest of the troops to Alberic, whose army will then be complete. And I will be happy.
What is your behest? I will do as you ask.
Alright. But you can't quite reach Borgas, meaning Chilfoy, you're gonna stay here for now. We gotta deliver you some of your troops anyway. Alrighty then. Alberic, transfer just the siege equipment. And then you can march stance to reinforce as well, just to leech XP. Alrighty, and just a single field treb will do.
Your behest?
Break them.
Like so, quick little auto-resolve, nobody should die. We are fine. Hey, free Helm of Discord as well. Occupy. And Helm of Discord, good. Another Twilight Banner, ooh. I've been hoping to get a few more of these just because of the stock assigned. There's some neat stuff that we could potentially do with this, as well as the, stalking brigands that we have. Cantabria Road, secured. Good. Let's go into Realm of Chivalry, please. Alberic, you can... actually, you can stay out here and channel. And then you are fine as you are. And you can sit in the actual settlement. Good. Alright, I was hoping for another battle. Difficult to find one, though.
What would you have of me?
At least a proper one. Really? You're at sea. I wonder what you're gonna do. Will you go to Kypros? Will you land and attack Matorka? You are technically at war. Actually, I wouldn't mind if they took Matorka. Where are you going, out of curiosity? You are at war with the Black Venom. Oh, that's actually somewhat annoying because we were looking to knock them out as well. We can't go to Somjak if these guys go to Moslek. Which actually might get taken by rebels, I'm not entirely sure. Well, either way, we will have Luan attack Brasov. That hasn't changed. And we will have René Daigneau reinforced by moving to... Actually, you know what? Stay out here. I'm wondering if we can ease our crossing to the other side, to this territory. And this, I think, will fight. We have mostly garbage peasants, and I haven't gotten tired of watching these guys. Gotrek and Felix fight together with a pile of ogres, and you're still waiting. That's why I didn't apply your skill points. Alright, fair enough. Just the casters, then. You have plenty of skill points, but I don't know exactly what's going in your army yet, which is why we'll get Curse of the Midnight Wind, Roiling Skies, Wind Blast, Aranon's Thunderbolt, Evasion, and Chain Lightning, but we'll ignore the rest in case we need it for other stuff. And then you... You have the important stuff, which is Flock of Doom, Wild Heart, and Visen's Wild Form. Let's actually grab Pens and Pendril Pelt and the Curse of Anarchy here because it's a really good spell. Alright. Happy with that. Away we go. I'm just realizing that you can go into regular stance.
It shall come to pass.
And then away we go. Alrighty, here we go. This should be a fun fight, I'd wager, with once again the Gotrek and Felix army in the lead with those man-eater ogre mercenaries that we have. Still awaiting their caravan, and will be a while yet, but they can certainly rack up their veterancy, XP, etc. while we wait. Anyway, we're gonna start the battle off with charging forward, Gotrek in the lead, of course. As should surprise no one. And who knocks out one of the orcs with his first blow, taking his head. Felix follows in with the piles of ogre mercenaries following up. Lovely. It's going to be a while until our reinforcements not only arrive on the battlefield, but arrive to actually help in the fight, so we got a lot of fighting to do. And hopefully we can maintain the maintain enough HP on those ogre units until... Oh wow, what the heck? I saw a couple of orcs fall from... I'm not entirely sure how high. Did they get launched in the air by the Urnon's Thunderbolt? I'm not sure, but well, they certainly didn't have a good time of it regardless. And since we're casting the occasional spell here that we don't usually cast, let's go for a wind blast. I just said wind breath, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not it. Wind blast to follow up the Urnon's Thunderbolt, dishing out a little bit of damage. And the fight as yet continues. We're also popping out the Blessing of the Fay. So far we have not yet lost a single unit of the ogres, and a brain burster comes in from the enemy shaman, but that's probably more dangerous to the enemy than it is to us, as we're mostly monstrous infantry here. Though about to be helped by some cavalry, I'd wager, as the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis are moving in. Actually, speaking of the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, I wonder if we should put them... I wonder if we should put them with Rapunzel. She does have the Fleur-de-Lis banner, after all. I'll think about it. On the other hand, delivering them to her would take a while unless we, you know, delete them and then wait the 10 turns until they come back up. I'll think about it. For now, though, the fight yet continues. We're going to pop off a Curse of the Midnight Wind as we have started to take damage on our ogre mercenaries. And Gotrek and Felix are in here somewhere as well, but frankly, they're kind of hard to spot. Especially Gotrek. For obvious reasons. But trust me, they're in there. And I keep wanting to say companions of Quenelle, the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis are about to be in here as well. As odd as I'm sure as it is to be riding in alongside those ogres. But is it really that different from riding in alongside Imperials? I don't know. They both have pistols and all that. But I digress. The rest of our army is moving on in, so soon we will have range support in addition to whatever else we have. Giant piles of peasants, perhaps, to send in. Actually, this color scheme on the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis would actually look very nicely with Franciscus, who's also got a sort of a blue and white color scheme. Although I would imagine the Duke of Quenelle will probably also... Wait, no. Brigand? It has a blue and white color scheme. Or wait, wouldn't it be... Well, Longueuil does. I feel like Quenelle does as well. We can't have Longueuil because it's been confederated by Lewin. Not this is of any real importance, once again. But anyway, our peasants have arrived. We're going to start out by launching a few arrows the enemy's way, fire and pox alike. While the first of our battle pilgrims and peasant mobs lead the pack. And then our piles of spears and polearms follow in as well. We've also peeled away the most damaged of the units of man-eaters with ogre pistols and have moved them here where they brought down the enemy barricade while the healthier units continued in their fight. These then moved to destroying an enemy unit of Error Boys, which admittedly do decent damage in melee. But at the same time, she get absolutely torn to shreds by the man-eaters with ogre pistols. Although another unit of Orc Boys is moving in to help, we have also got our own peasants to sort of throw at the enemy. Wave after wave of disposable peasants. A tried and true Bretonnian tradition. Or a time-honored Bretonnian tradition, I should say. Alright, and it's a pretty simple brawl. The battle spout has shifted to about 85% in our favor, and now the enemy is dying considerably faster due to the arrow fire coming down upon them. Obviously, the arrows are able to attack more enemy units at the same time, rather than, you know, the sort of point of contact between the two lines in the choke point being the only place where the enemies are dying. At the very least, when they're not being struck by lightning. And it looks like we've started to lose a few of our man-eaters with ogre pistols, or, actually no, they're down to 50%, but not one has died. But with them being down to 50%, I'm willing to bet some of them are going to start dropping in short order. Even ogres are going to get overwhelmed by orc boys in this manner. Ooh, you've gone a little bit too far from the rest of your buddies there, buddy. And that's a lot of orcs attacking you at the same time. Not that one or two ogre losses are going to make too much of a difference, plus they are entertaining and they're fighting. Again, I'd like to get a few more ogreish units to put in a few more of our armies. They could also work nicely with some brigands, for example. And with the brigand armies, at least there's no nobility, no knights to turn their noses up at fighting with the peasants or the ogres. Much the same in many ways. And using Mornfang cavalry, for example, would be a source of cavalry that we could use with the brigands without having to rely on knightly cavalry. Anyway, time for these guys to back off, and yes, now we've lost 4 and 3 units, and I think we don't want to lose any more, so they're going to flee. The one that stayed with Gotrek and Felix, however, the one unit, is still relatively okay by the looks of it. Still 20 out of 20 at the very least. And by the looks of it, they're not going to look like they're... By the looks of it, they're not going to look like... good vocabulary, Ruinous. Good job. They're probably not going to die anymore because the enemy is just plain running out of troops at this point. I'm a Stonework Shaman, but he seems to be sitting back and just using the occasional brain burster, and funnily enough, the Gaze of Mork would have probably been more dangerous to us at this point. Anyway, I am willing to wager that as soon as this last unit of orc biggins, routs, and or shatters, the battle will be ours. There certainly won't be anything left to protect the enemy error boys, or at the very least those error boys who have not been pincushioned by our own, I wanted to say error boys, archers at this point. And these are still the basic archers, not longbows, because we can't upgrade them to longbows in this particular army, but they'll serve their purpose. Besides, piles of peasant archers with longbow or without are going to probably make up a pretty big portion of your standard Bretonian army. So it's only appropriate that we still use a decent amount of them. And there we go, I see the orc boys turning and the enemy buildings collapsing, which signals the end of this particular fight. The orcs are broken, Gotrek and Felix win another day, and Gotrek continues surviving. Alright, there we go, a rather nice siege, if I do say so myself, and the ogres, together with Gotrek and Felix, did plenty of work up front until the rest of the army arrived and sort of mobbed the orcs with peasants, basically, using the same strategy as the greenskins themselves. Very nice work, and Renee continues getting additional XP on those units that we started with that don't have the bonus armor, but nonetheless I'm too attached to get rid of at this point. Are you supposed to have that potion of toughness? I don't think so, but it's not that bad of a thing. And you do still have to take time to cross, so we could actually attack Moslak from here, but I'm not sure that we necessarily want to without Gotrek and Felix as yet. You know, so yeah, just cross and then we'll just try to be ready to move next turn. We are also coming up on the borders of the Karazakarak dwarfs, which ain't too bad. At the very least, we should try to grab Vidovdan because it is sharing territory with Morton. So Moslak I care a little bit less about, but Brasov does have the grazing pastures and therefore will still be quite useful to us. There's also this to consider. If they make it through, they'll probably move into attacking some of these territories, and by the looks of it, oh, they wiped out the armies of the... This faction had like 2 armies here. Oh, maybe these guys had more armies and then they lost them at sea. Or maybe you were one of the armies and you simply moved over there. I'm not entirely sure. Either way, we're out of time and I'm going to call the episode here. Ooh, looks like the Southern Realms are not having a very good time, but we're leaving the Sartosans to it, at least for now, just because these guys had the misfortune of being allies with the Monte Castello, who attacked Asuria Wood. And also occupying some nice territory, admittedly, but this is the real reason. To be sure. Not the enrichment of Bretonnia's dukes. Anyway, yeah, out of time calling it here. I'll do some of the sort of swaps, some unit swapping and stuff in next, or between the episodes for when we come back, and, well, we'll keep pumping out armies next time. I believe Caravans de Caravans' army is actually ready at this point. More or less at any rate. So you will take all of the flyers and the peasant mobs, like so. You are missing your... Wait. You're missing 2 eagles, which will put you up to 18 out of 20, and 2 heroes, which is going to be Alison Diderot.
Me your gifts, my lady.
Though, funnily enough, Roiling Sky's range is 300 is good, but I fear you won't be able to actually contribute too much to... whatever, it doesn't matter. Too bad you can't get a Pegasus mount on the regular Damsel of the Heavens, but I nonetheless feel like there should be a Damsel of the Heavens in this army. And then we'll have a U support. There we go. We just need the 2 eagles, which is gonna take... well, actually, probably just a couple of turns in terms of Tolzin, and Vidrioth a couple of turns as well. And actually, if we complete this thing with Arguelon, we'll be able to build an eagle out of them either way. Either way, this army is certainly ready to be fighting already, so we're going to immediately send them out and move them, or start moving them towards the Dark Elves, as Cassillon is ready. So away you go, buddy.
I grow weary.
Could probably channel, but I'd rather have you move in. Ooh, the thing I was waiting for and I completely forgot. Bergenhofen. Are we able to at long last, trade it for Montlac?
I have no patience
Montlac
for this. Say
or
what you will,
Bergenhofen?
servant of Leon
Really?
Kerr, and be done with it.
Really? We built 3 military structures there, and I feel like upgrading them won't actually do anything for us. Huh, maybe this thing wasn't counted as a... we only got a +6 out of the Cutpurse camp, so maybe the game doesn't recognize it as a military structure. I am this close to just wiping these guys out, because this has been annoying. I'm trying to avoid trespassing through their territory and all that, and it's just not, it's not working. Maybe we just trespass. At the very least. Because I don't know whether we can succeed in trading the territory. Either way, we're out of time. We'll deal with this later. And as well as all of the other stuff, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as the engagement will determine how long this campaign continues to run for. All glory to the algorithm. Thanks for watching.
Those who scoff